The ability to be customer-centric and not talk about yourself in your marketing is possibly the most underrated skill that many marketers don't have. So in this episode, we are going to talk about what building a story brand is all about, plus the latest digital marketing news in this episode of InboundBuzz.
Welcome to the InboundBuzz podcast, your weekly jolt of all things digital and inbound marketing, brought to you by redpandas.com.au. Now for your host and co-founder of Red Pandas, Moby Sadiq.
Welcome to the InboundBuzz podcast, episode 122. My name is Tony Cow and I'm joined by Moby Sadiq. How are you today, Moby?
Good, Tony. Feeling good.
You feeling good? I've had a tough week. Feeling a bit nasally today, so
I know everyone's been sick, man. It's just like bananas. But we're here, we're ready, we're here to deliver the latest in digital marketing news. So what do we got? What's the first item in our news buzz today?
Amazon tests TikTok like feeds in app. So this is interesting because it's about TikTok, and it seems like it's having a big influence in the tech industry. Amazon is starting to use it for just a little test that they're doing to add TikTok. We'll see how it goes. The article talks about a lot of people more on TikTok than, like YouTube and Instagram. So Amazon's trying to pick up on TikTok and get some of that traffic. Yeah,
I swear, people probably think this is like TikTok buzz now. But this is the news. Like, this is what's making news right now. Like, this is one of the biggest news pieces that's come out in social media. Amazon is essentially beta testing, having a TikTok feed in its app. Because the Chinese have figured it out, my friends. Your relatives have figured it out. Is that racist? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. We're not cutting it out. We're leaving it in. But they figured it out. Like, this is a positive thing, right? I feel like I'm digging myself a hole.
I think I'm Australian.
I don't care because yeah, that's true. But I'm also Pakistani as well. No, but they figured it out, man. Like, they figured it out. This app, like, if you guys don't understand how the algorithm works, it works on dwell. So if you're dwelling on something, you're going to see more of that. And I always say, like, if you sit next to your, you're sitting next to your partner and they just, like, they're on TikTok and every other video is a chick shaking her ass, then that's probably like the stuff that they like. Like, that's what they're dwelling on. Even though they go really fast when they're next to you, they're probably dwelling on that. And that's what TikTok's giving you. It's based on dwell. So Amazon is like, shit, we can take advantage of this. We are bigdata.com. We can figure this out ourselves and have a feed. So they're testing it with like, Amazon's employees can make an island. So they're testing it with their employees right now. But man, it's the way of the future, essentially.
Yeah. Next one, worst SEO advice I've heard this year for 2022. So one of the comments was, I should never remove content from my website. And this is a big discussion in the SEO community. Do we remove content or do we keep the content? That's what we've been discussing about. And some of the points were raised was, is the content, relatable to the market now? Is it old? Should we get rid of it? Or should we make new content? And we've been going through a bit of this lately, Moby, haven't we?
Yeah. I think the analogy I can give you is leaving bad content on your website. It's like a fat marathon runner who refuses to lose weight because he thinks it's going to help him win a marathon when everyone else is like 60 kilos. Because the way I say that, how the Google's algorithm works, it has a limit in terms of how much it's going to crawl your site. I think they call it like a crawl budget, right? It's known as like the crawl budget. So that's why I say you're like a fat marathon runner refusing to lose weight, because it's too much effort, it's too much energy. So when you leave old content, you are impacting the crawl budget of your site. Not to mention you're diluting keywords, cannibalization. So it's not one of those things it's going to de-rank you, but it's certainly not going to do you any favors, particularly if you're an old site, you have a lot of content that competes with each other.
Yep. And worst SEO advice number 2, all I need is to write longer content to rank higher. And this has been going on. Do we write 1,000 word blog, or do we write 300 words, 500 words? It's quite interesting because it does talk about the longer it is not as important. It's more about the quality of the content, right, Moogs?
The problem with, I think, our industry is people just take correlations, they turn them into causations. So I believe and you guys can look this up, I believe like the average length of the top ranking pages is like 1,200 words or something. So people take that and like, oh, I must write 1,200 words and I must keyword inject 3% of the time for keyword density. Like that's bullshit. That's not going to get you anywhere. The reason why it's 1,200 words, it's probably the content is so good that writer or that publication or that website or brand answered the question better than everyone else. They had to go into depth. So it just happened to be 1,200 words. But the thing is, like we talk about snackable content, we talk about, I'm really trying not to talk about TikTok on our shows, but we talk about TikTok all the time and it works because it's snackable. It's information right away. And we also know like short form videos like Reels and Shorts and I'm not sure about Reels, but Shorts and TikToks appear in Google search results now too, right? So it's essentially about having the content. Having a limit, I think, is a useless metric for a content. And it's more around, does this content answer the questions, the queries of the customer or the searcher better than everyone else? Whether it's 500 words or 2,000 or 3,000 words, it doesn't matter.
And it's true because in Red Pandas, you're always telling our writers to be more succinct, right? Always succinct. You don't care about how long they write. You just want good quality, succinct, and just hit the points. So,
yeah, there was like a famous politician who once said, if I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. So it actually takes more work and more effort, and it's more impressive to write something punchy and to the point because people just zone out.
Good. Our news buzz number 3, TikTok introduces 3 types of shopping ads. So, we're at TikTok again, and it's interesting because they've allowed for video shopping ads, catalog listing ads, and live shopping ads. Video shopping ads is, typical, the video ads so, you can present and sell your products. So make sure you get onto that. And, the typical catalog, you can produce and sell multiple products. But one funny thing is live shopping ads. So this is what TikTok is rolling out. But then we have Facebook that's going to, pause it in October. So it's interesting how 2 different platforms are going 2 different ways.
Yeah. Zuckerberg is more interested in loading billions into the metaverse. So that's not really area of focus. But they killed it because it's not really working.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing that's working on Facebook, of course, ads still work, right? Like Facebook ad attribution is still really, really powerful. But we talk about, spreading your budget a little bit, like having, YouTube ads are coming to Reels, I'm sure of that. TikTok ads as well. And of course, like Instagram and those type of ads as well. It's all really, really part of it. But yeah, like it's, the only other thing that works on Facebook from a shopping point of view is like either shoppable ads, like we spoke about, or the Facebook Marketplace, which probably doesn't apply to most of our clients.
Next one, YouTube adopts feature from TikTok, reply to comments with a video. So on TikTok, right, on some of the, videos, you can add a sticky comment and, you can add it and write a comment and the author, or sorry, the content creator can reply. But
they can reply to a comment with a video.
Yeah. But YouTube's come up with something different. It's a small experiment for iOS users where you can reply to comments with a short video. Now that's interesting. Imagine recording yourself replying to your comments. Better engagement, better report.
Yes, yeah. Just steal the feature, man. That's what worked for everyone else. So nothing more to add on that.
Okay. So that's it for our news buzz for this episode. And we're moving on to our next feature buzz. Who is the hero of the story?
Yeah, so this is really interesting. This comes from, I think we started a little bit of a mini informal book club, haven't we, Tony?
Yeah.
We've been talking about this book by Donald Miller, Building a Story Brand, which I recommend for anyone in marketing, definitely. And the idea is, like the central premise is that we are hardwired to stories. From when we were caveman and, like people used to tell stories and use stories to tell history and relay information, we are hardwired. That's why we can't, it's why like when, if you walk in halfway into a movie, with your partner, this happened to me so many times. I watch so many movies I don't want to watch, some chick flicks or something. And the story is just so compelling that we have to see what's going to happen. Like our brains are so invested in finding out stories. So the stories are the easiest way and the fastest way to promote any message or narrative.
Yeah.
That's why, storytelling is big. That's why the best lead generation, I know obviously you're our paid media guru. That's why you've been following, the art of storytelling, the art of telling a story to promote a message. So it's kind of based on that. And essentially what I really like and what I wanted to start on, it talks about the two biggest problems that marketers make in their marketing, or the two biggest problems businesses have in their marketing. And the first one is getting people to consume too many calories for a message. So for example, like the worst thing you can see on a website is some cryptic wordsmithing bullshit, like the most innovative way to service your customers, like stuff that can apply to almost any business. And by the way, innovative is like one of the worst words to have on your website, not because it's a bad word, because of its meaning, because overused so much, it means nothing anymore. It's like saying a very good place or a very good business. Like, that's part of it, right? So the first mistake is getting people to consume too many calories and doing too much mental work to figure out what you actually do and sell in your value prop. The second one is not making people the hero of stories. And it goes back to what we were talking about before with stories. We can't help when we're watching a movie to place ourselves into that. Right? And I think we were talking about this before, like, we're talking about Gladiator, right? Like you can't help feeling Maximus's pain and what he's going to do and how would you feel if your wife or your loved one was killed? Like we do it subconsciously. We place ourselves in the story. So marketers don't do that enough. They don't make their person the hero of the story. Instead, what marketers do is they make them the heroes. But that is a big misconception. That's not how you do marketing. It's not about saying, we're the heroes, we will solve all your problems, we will do this. That's actually not the way to do it. The best way to see it is you're Robin, they're Batman.
Okay.
They're the heroes of the story. You're the trusted advisor. It's something I've seen and heard from many, many experts. You're the trusted advisor. We make them the hero of the stories, help them solve their problems and save the day.
100%.
But go ahead.
It's like you were saying about gladiators and Star Trek, how there's always a...
I didn't say Star Trek. I don't even know what the hell...
Oh, sorry, Star Wars. My bad. Or one of them. There's always a guide, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and there's always, the customer being the hero, right? So brands should position themselves, like you're saying, to be the guide or the mentor.
What this book will do, it will destroy the way you see movies. Because like they say that if you look at any big budget picture, any movie that's made a lot of money, they follow this formula. It's like a 7-step formula. And like what you're essentially talking about, there's a character who has a problem and he or she meets a guide who gives them a plan and a call to action. And one of two things is going to happen. Either they succeed, they win, they save the day, or there's abysmal failure. 7 steps in everything. And we're talking about this like, with Gladiator, same thing happens, right? You have a character and all he wants is peace. Like he just wants peace with his family. And he has a problem. He ends up his family gets murdered, he gets thrown, he becomes a slave, right? And he still wants peace. And then he meets a guide. And Proximo, the ex-gladiators, like, win the crowd and you will win your freedom. And then he has a call to action. And then, of course, win or fail. Win is like he kills his nemesis, he dies with honor, and he gets to see his family in the hereafter. Yeah. Or he fails and he dies without knowing, he doesn't get his revenge, essentially. Every good and what the book actually talks about is sometimes movies will break, and that's why like a lot of artsy films, art house films, or these like really artsy people come up with these movies. They don't do good in the box office, because they break that path. Humans are very predictable people.
Indie films,
yeah, thank you. So indie films and those films like that are very critically acclaimed, but they don't make it big in the box office. Because when you break that formula, or you put too many guides, or you don't put a guide, or people don't know within the first 5 minutes what the protagonist wants, it actually contributes to the failure of that film. Again, bring it back to what we're talking about. Same thing with marketing as well.
Well, so what does that mean? Like, are we talking about like our ads? Are we talking about our landing pages, our website? Is that everything that we got to approach this angle with, you reckon, Mopes? Because like, with video ads, that might be easy to do, but like, do we use that idea on our websites?
No, really, really, really good question. So I think, yes, definitely. So in terms of websites, right? So I want to share an example.
And bear in mind, we looked at the books, really interesting, because a lot of good, like marketing books does talk about this as well. So that book, Moby's bought it for me. Totally recommend you guys to go buy it.
Yeah. So back to your question, essentially in terms of examples. So on our website, I'm sharing our website right now. We used to have something quite generic like, HubSpot and marketing automation. So what the book talks about is making a couple of premises. I don't remember all of them. And like Tony says, definitely recommend you buying this. Making the persona the hero of the story and not consuming too many calories. So we went something that we had on for years, which I can't even remember. So that tells you how memorable it was. 2, have all the answers to your organization's revenue generating problems. So what are we actually doing here? We are trying to make the marketing manager the hero. We know marketing managers always hide for a problem. The bosses are telling them more sales, more leads, whatever, right? And they always need to have the answers. All the departments come to them every time there's something to do with any form of communication. So what we're saying is have all the answers to your organization's revenue generating problems, right? Why? So then they can save the day, become the hero in their story, have the answers, triumph, confetti falling from the ceiling.
Get promoted.
Get promoted. I'm obviously being dramatic here, but that's the way you have to see it. It's essentially a story. So back to your question, yes, it's in your marketing messaging. It's on your website. That's just one example though. It's in your ads as well. And remembering solving, countering those 2 problems, not getting them to consume too many calories. It is what it is. You don't need to wordsmith your stuff.
And like you say, don't make them consume too many mental calories. So keep it simple, right? It's just a simple screenplay, whatever, like message. Keep it simple. Let's not overcomplicate things.
Absolutely.
Okay, so moving on to our next segment, Can We Fix It? So today...
Hold on, we forgot our intro.
Moby and Tony, can they fix it? Moby and Tony, yes they can.
I want to thank my new best friend, Alex Winter from Impact again. Obviously, he went out of his way to create our intro there. So I love you for that, Alex. But yes, so what are we talking about today in today's... actually, for anyone who hasn't listened to the show or tuned in for a while, what is Can We Fix It and who are we focusing on today?
So today, Can We Fix It is about looking, at a company's website or, ads or anything, and we can provide, solutions from our expertise, knowledge and experience. Today, we're looking at a company called Envision VR, and you can find them at envisionvr.net. And we're actually going to adopt it with our building a Storybrand, idea that we were talking about in the previous segment.
Let's carry that conversation through. So Envision VR, one of our clients managed by our head of operations and head of HubSpot at Red Pandas, Tasha Del Bianco. But she mentioned Envision VR, right? So the other day, and thought we'll do some Storybrand and I guess just see what comes to mind. So I'm looking at the website now, and of course, if you want to see our beautiful faces and you want to see the video version of this podcast, remember you can go to redpandas.com.au/EP122. So if you're listening, you can check out envisionvr.net or whatever, or you can just follow along. But the first sort of what comes to mind, first thing on their website is redefining the way unbuilt property is showcased and sold.
The heading. We're looking at the heading.
That's the heading in the banner. So it's worth mentioning what these guys do actually. So these guys, they target property developers and real estate agents, and they have this really, really cool tech where they use VR so you can showcase a property. So think of instead of buying a property off the plan, you could put on some goggles or you could view it through an iPhone app or an iPad, and you could actually visualize and do a virtual walkthrough. So great little thing.
And just to build the background, this company is a solution for, like Moby said, developers, builders. And, the problems with builders and developers is they spend millions of dollars building display homes for customers to have a look at. But this product, just simplifies it and makes it a lot easier. Yeah.
So let's do some story branding on this. So now for me, this is too generic. Right? So redefining, no one cares. It's not as bad as the word innovation, but redefining the way unbuilt property is showcased and sold. Okay, so.
What does that mean, Mopes?
Exactly. It's asking us the only way we kind of sort of know is the name. I think it's a great name, Envision VR, and we can see some VR stuff happening in the background. But someone once said to me, and it sounds insulting, but it's not, we have to consider website visitors as dumb, stupid idiots. And we are also dumb, stupid idiots when we go on a website we've never been on before, right? Like you have to really like make it really, really simple. So if we consider someone who's dumb and stupid, even if they're a property developer, what are you guys doing? You help me sell. You guys, sell stuff. I can see some VR. Do you guys sell VR goggles, whatever, right? So it's asking us to consume too many calories. But also the biggest mistake it's making is it's about you. It's not about them. It's you guys redefining the way unbuilt property is showcased and sold. You're solving your problems. It's got nothing to do how you're going to solve your buyer's problem. So, for example, an alternative could be the easiest way to show and sell your unbuilt property to buyers, right? So we're not, we probably would charge to do this properly, right? But something like that might be better. The easiest way to show and sell your unbuilt property to prospective buyers, something like that. Because we're essentially saying you're going to show and you're going to sell and it's unbuilt. So if I'm a property developer, that resonates with me right away. You might need a different one for real estate agents. I'm not sure, whatever. But that's sort of the first thing that comes to mind.
And I think if you scroll down to the who we are,
what we do, who we are.
There's a reason our clients call us godsend. And, like we're talking about the hero. I think it would be, to position more the customers as the hero. And you're looking at some of the content, like you, we are game changers in the industry. We care about the customer experience. I think maybe we could repurpose and reposition that as them being the game changers in the industry, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Change the game with your prospective clients.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is really, really important right now too, because the property market isn't that great. So the people who are around, or for the development market anyway, people who are around need to showcase a point of difference. So it's like this can be your point of difference to actually make your stuff stand out. Look, and I know they're trying. This is the thing too. I've made this mistake as well before reading this book. I'm like, yeah, of course we're being them-centric. We're talking about helping them and they're great. But no, like it's not enough. Like you, we are game changers. Like you, we're about the customer experience. So I can see they're actually trying this. So someone very smart has had a crack at this. But it's more about like the value proposition for them. What else, Tony? What else comes to mind?
Scroll down. I mean, they do have a video that you can play and you just show an example.
Which is great. Love that.
But I
Bunch
think
of videos.
You were saying you probably like that more above the fold or something, Mobes?
Yeah, good point. So I'm playing the video now and it's showing like an iPad. It's showing, two people against a screen. It's showing some property development. I think it's more of a case study. So it's pretty cool. So you can get there, but it's kind of like, when you are looking to buy something, like maybe you're on a property developer's site, like what's really helpful? Properties that are already live, a gallery or something. So I like how there's not many menu items. There is how it works, become a supplier, contact, blog. To be honest, I would prefer a contact on the far right-hand side. Not sure why it's in the middle. I know maybe trying to be different, maybe trying to get people to go to the blog, but that's the way we're conditioned. So let's just fish the way people, or let's just, sell fish the way people like to buy fish. The worst analogy I've ever come up with. I don't know where that came from. But the point is, don't have that there. Blog, I would actually have as learning center, but we'll go back to that. But yes, I would have view live examples or gallery or something. If what's going to work? We know this works with anyone. Show them what the neighbors are doing.
True.
So if you had live examples, you click on that and then you might have property developers. And I'm just guessing that they're the two main, from what little I know, the two main personas. You might have property developers and real estate agents. You click on that. If you're a real estate agent and I'm LJ Hooker and I click on that and then I see Lang and Rourke down the road using this, I'm like, screw those guys. Why the hell their property is looking better than ours?
100%.
I need that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Using FOMO really, really works. The other thing on the site that I would do is self-selection tools, right?
What does that mean, Mobes?
So right now, for example, when I go to How It Works, I can see they have a How It Works for home builders, developers and agents, building and designers. So self-selection tools, and they have a few things. They have software, they have the goggles, they have Envision VR design app. They obviously have an array of services. So let's dumb it the hell down for people. So it could be start here, or what are you looking for? Or find what you're looking for, start here. You click on that. It's literally like a quiz, right? Who are you? Are you a property developer? Are you a real estate agent? Awesome. Are you looking to design? No, I already have the design. Awesome. And it will take you down a path and it will present to you the one of 2 or 3 or 4, whatever options Envision VR has. And it will say, look, okay, this is what we have for you. This is what could work. Do you want information sent? Do you want a call back? We can help you with both.
Interesting.
The final thing, and I know we're running short of time, the final thing I talk about here is like a learning center. So I think the blog could really, really benefit from turning into a learning center and then using they ask you answer content. Okay. So talk about like this versus other options. If this is new, the problem you're going to have is you don't exist in a category. So this could be this versus, I don't know, photography. And what the options, like what's the average resale value of, or the sale value of your properties versus something comparable. Versus content, best content, the problems, maybe the problems with the alternative or problems with what you guys offer, right? And essentially it's not a problem. It's a problem if you're looking for something else, right? There's a clever sort of mix there. And reviews as well. Reviews, I think they have some here, but reviews is another, type of content. We talk about the big 5 content, 5 types of content that push people to make a decision. But yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. But I think this is definitely something that could benefit from Storybrand. Definitely a brand that can leverage they ask you answer and self-selection tools. 3 things that come to mind.
Fantastic. That's good stuff. And yeah, that's it. I hope they're watching it. Sorry, I was diving into the website.
You just got immersed by their beautiful visuals. I think that's it, Tony. Any passing thoughts, anything before we wrap up the show today?
No, I hope you guys enjoyed it this week. And, sorry about my nasal voice. And I hope you enjoyed, the knowledge and wisdom that Moby shared. And, if you can find this episode at redpandas.com/.au/EP122.
We'll see you guys next time.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Inbound Buzz. Learn anything? Return the favor by spreading the word. Want to make your mark in digital? Need help with your digital strategy, inbound, and marketing automation efforts? Then visit redpandas.com.au and be sure to tune in next time for another Inbound Buzz hit.